I know the exact weight of the breath you held when you opened your banking app this morning, and I felt the cold shiver that traveled down your spine as you stared at the numbers that didn't seem like enough to carry you through the week. My beloved child, I have been sitting in the quiet of your kitchen, watching you trace the edges of unpaid bills with trembling fingers, hearing the unspoken prayer that rises from your heart like thin smoke. A prayer not just for currency, but for air to breathe, for a moment where you do not feel like you are drowning in a sea of scarcity. You have felt so profoundly alone in this struggle, as if the heavens are brass and my ears are closed to the rhythm of your need. But I am the architect of the stars and the keeper of the storehouses of the earth, and I tell you today that your season of lack is being rewritten by my hand, even as these words reach your eyes. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment, marked with the unique signature 5525, a code of completion, and a promise that the harvest you have sown in tears is finally ready for the reaping. I have seen the way you have worked until your bones ached, the way you have sacrificed your own comfort to keep others afloat, and the way you have whispered, "I trust you," through teeth clenched in anxiety. I do not ignore the labor of your soul. I have been orchestrating a symphony of provision in the unseen realms, moving the hearts of people you have never met and aligning circumstances that seem impossible to the human eye. Very soon, perhaps even before the sun sets on this day or as the mail arrives tomorrow, a shift will manifest in your physical reality. You will see it first as a flicker of surprise, a letter in the mail with your name on it, not containing a demand for payment, but a check you did not expect, a refund long forgotten, or a gift from a source you had dismissed. Or perhaps you will feel your phone vibrate in your pocket, and as you look down, you will see a notification from your bank, a deposit that makes your heart skip a beat because it is exactly what you needed, down to the very cent. I am doing this not just to pay your debts, but to show you that I am your provider, your father, and your constant friend. I am breaking the spirit of poverty that has tried to claim your family line, and I am replacing it with a legacy of abundance. Do you remember when you thought you wouldn't make it through last month? I was there then, and I am here now, expanding your borders. The fear you feel is a ghost, a remnant of a past that no longer owns you. I am breathing new life into your finances, clearing the path so that you can finally sleep through the night without the crushing weight of tomorrow's needs pressing against your chest. I want you to take a deep, slow breath right now. Feel the air fill your lungs and realize that if I can provide the oxygen for every living thing on this planet without fail, I can certainly provide the paper and coin you need to live in peace. You are worth more to me than the lilies of the field or the birds of the air, and yet I clothe them in splendor and feed them daily. How much more will I do for you, my precious one? The struggle you have endured has not been in vain. It has refined your spirit, making you a vessel that can handle the blessing that is coming. If I had given it sooner, you might have called it luck. But because I am giving it now, in this hour of your greatest need, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that it was I, the Lord your God, who reached down and touched your life. I am removing the thorns of worry from your mind. I am replacing the not enough with more than enough. You will not only have what you need for yourself, but you will find your cup overflowing so that you can be a channel of blessing to others. The specific miracle, labeled 5525, is your personal testimony of my faithfulness. When you see that money arrive, do not let your first thought be of the next bill. Let your first thought be of my love. Let it be a reminder that you are seen, you are heard, and you are cherished beyond measure. I am not a distant God watching from a cold throne. I am right here in the room with you, watching the dust motes dance in the light, knowing the number of hairs on your head and the number of dreams in your heart. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten. I am opening windows in heaven that no man can shut. This financial breakthrough is merely the first drop of rain before a great downpour of favor. You have been faithful in the small things, and now I am making you a steward over much. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the Father who would move heaven and earth just to see you smile in relief. You are entering a new chapter where the word debt is replaced by deliverance. Walk with your head held high, for the King of Glory has called you by name and declared that your needs are met, your future is secure, and your house is blessed. Rest now, my child. The provision is already on its way. As you stand in your kitchen today, the silence might feel heavy, but it is a silence pregnant with possibility. I have seen the way you've looked at the grocery list, quietly crossing off the items that felt like luxuries, though they were once your staples. I have watched you handle the grocery store checkout with a practiced grace, keeping a mental tally so you wouldn't face the sting of a declined card. Those days are receding like a low tide. Even now, in the unseen realms, the gears of a vast and benevolent providence are turning in your favor. I am stirring the memories of people you haven't spoken to in years, bringing your name to the forefront of their minds with a sudden, irresistible urge to bless you. I am auditing the ledgers of companies that overcharged you, prompting refunds that have been buried in bureaucracy for far too long. You think you are waiting on me, but I have been waiting for the perfect moment to show you that I am not just your provider but your father. Think back to the times you felt invisible. Think of the nights you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, calculating figures that never quite added up. In those moments, I was weaving a safety net beneath you that you could not see. I am the God of the sudden shift. I am the God of the 11th hour. The letter you will receive is not merely paper and ink. It is a physical manifestation of my yes and amen over your life. When you open it and see the amount, an amount that covers the rent, the repair, and the lingering debt that has been a shadow over your joy, I want you to take a deep breath and let the tension leave your shoulders for good. This is not a temporary fix or a lucky break. It is the beginning of a cycle of abundance. I am teaching you a new rhythm, one where you no longer look at your bank account to determine your peace of mind. You will look at me. I see the car that has been making that rhythmic clicking sound, the one you've been praying would just hold together for one more month. I see the dental work you've postponed, the shoes your children are outgrowing, and the quiet desire you have to simply walk into a store and buy a gift for someone else without checking your balance first. My heart beats for your freedom. I am removing the spirit of lack that has tried to claim a seat at your table. I am replacing the bread of anxiety with the wine of celebration. When the notification pings on your phone and you see that the balance has shifted by thousands, do not be afraid. Do not think it is too good to be true. It is exactly as good as I am. It is a reflection of my character, not your merit. You have been a good steward of your tears. Now, be a good steward of your laughter. I am also working in the hearts of those around you. You will find that doors which were bolted shut are suddenly standing ajar. A job offer you thought was lost will resurface with better terms. A legal matter that has been draining your resources will suddenly be resolved in your favor, with a settlement that far exceeds your expectations. I am the God who restores. I am the God who multiplies the loaves and the fish. What you have in your hand may seem small, but when you place it in my hands, it becomes more than enough to feed a multitude. This breakthrough is intended to overflow. I am blessing you so that you can be the answer to someone else's desperate prayer, so that you can experience the divine thrill of being the anonymous hand of my providence in another's life. Do not rush through this season of waiting, for even the waiting has been a sanctification. It has stripped away the false idols of self-reliance, and has brought you to the place where we walk hand in hand. You are learning that my love is not tied to your productivity or your bank balance. You are learning that you are cherished simply because you are mine. The money is coming, yes, but more importantly, the realization of my constant presence is arriving with it. I am the manna that falls when the cupboards are bare. I am the stream that breaks forth in the wasteland. You will soon walk into the bank or look at your screen, and the numbers will tell a story of rescue. When that happens, I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember the warmth you feel in your chest right now. That is my spirit confirming that your season of drought is officially over. The clouds are heavy with rain, and the scent of the first few drops is already in the air. You have been through the fire, but you do not smell like smoke. You have been through the flood, but you did not drown. Now, you will walk through the harvest. Every seed of faith you sowed when you were crying, every prayer you whispered when you were exhausted, and every time you chose integrity over a shortcut, all of it is being gathered and returned to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Prepare your heart for the suddenly. The mail carrier is walking a route that leads to your door. The electronic transfers are moving through the wires. There is no obstacle too high, no debt too large, and no mistake too great that my grace cannot overcome it. I am your dwelling place, and within me there is no scarcity. There is only an infinite supply of everything you need. Your only job is to believe and to receive. I am your provider, your protector, and your great reward, and I am just getting started. Do you hear the sound of the postman's heavy tread on the porch? It is not the sound of a bill collector or a final notice this time. It is the rhythmic cadence of a miracle arriving in physical form. I am moving the hands of those in accounting offices who had forgotten your file. I am stirring the memories of those who owe you from years past. Even now, a check is being signed, a seal is being pressed, and an envelope is being addressed to you. You have spent so many seasons checking your balance with a bated breath, bracing yourself for the red numbers, the subtractions that felt like extractions from your very soul. But look again. I am rewriting the ledger of your life. I am deleting the record of your struggle and replacing it with the testimony of my sufficiency. Think of the times you shared your last bit of bread, the times you gave when you were the one who needed to receive. You thought those seeds were lost in the dirt, but they were merely germinating in the secret place of my providence. The atmosphere around your finances is shifting from the dryness of a desert to the humidity of a tropical rain. I am opening windows in heaven that no man can shut. You will find that the lost money, the money that slipped through your fingers due to bad investments, theft, or simple misfortune, is finding its way back to you with interest. I am the God of the harvest, and I do not allow any of my children's labor to go unrewarded. There is a specific notification coming to your phone, a sequence of numbers that will make you sit down in disbelief. You will rub your eyes, thinking it is a glitch or a dream, but I tell you, it is the tangible evidence of my love. I am touching the hearts of strangers to favor you. I am causing your name to be brought up in rooms where decisions are made, where grants are awarded, and where bonuses are distributed. You have felt like a ghost in the machinery of commerce, but I have made you a pillar in my kingdom. I am removing the spirit of just enough and replacing it with more than enough so that you can be a conduit for others. Remember the dreams you tucked away in the back of your heart, the ones that required capital you didn't have. Dust them off. The funding is arriving. I am paying for the vision I gave you. I am clearing the path so that you can run without the weight of debt dragging behind you. It is not by your hustle or your grinding that this breakthrough comes. It is by my spirit. You can rest your weary head tonight. You don't have to solve the puzzle of how the ends will meet. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of every transaction. The bank teller will wonder at the sudden change in your status. Your family will see the glow of relief on your face. You have carried the burden of how for too long. Give that how back to me and simply rest in the who. I am the great I am. I am the one who commanded the fish to bring the coin to Peter, and I am the one who commands the resources of the earth to find their way to your account. This is the end of the season of not yet. This is the dawn of the here and now. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten. Every missed opportunity is being recycled into a new, greater open door. The mail is coming. The transfer is pending. The release is authorized. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. The tightness in your chest is being replaced by a deep, resonant peace. I am your source, and my reservoir never runs dry. You are about to experience a financial miracle that defies logic and bypasses the systems of this world. Trust me with the timing, for it is perfect. Trust me with the amount, for it is exactly what you need and then some. You are my beloved, and it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and everything necessary to live in it with joy and abundance. I am peeling back the layers of your anxiety and showing you the gold underneath. You have been refined by the weight, and now you are ready for the weight of the blessing. Do not be afraid of the size of the check or the magnitude of the wire transfer. It is not too much for me to give, nor is it too much for you to handle. I have prepared you for this moment. I have built the character in you to sustain the increase. You will not be consumed by it. You will be empowered by it. You will look at your bank account and see a reflection of my faithfulness. You will walk into the grocery store, and instead of looking at the prices, you will look for who you can bless. You will walk into your home, and the walls will no longer feel like they are closing in on you. They will feel like the sanctuary they were meant to be. The blue envelope, the white letter, the digital chime, these are the heralds of your new season. I am the God who provides in the secret place and rewards in the open. I am the one who turns your mourning into dancing and your sackcloth into robes of joy. This is not a temporary fix. It is a foundational shift. The scarcity that plagued your ancestors stops with you. The generational cycle of poverty is broken today. You are the beginning of a legacy of wealth, wisdom, and wonder. I am filling your storehouses until they burst. I am making your cup run over. And even as you hold the proof of my provision in your hands, know that I am still just getting started. Watch now as the numbers on that screen rearrange themselves into a testimony of my sovereignty. You have known the weight of the not enough, the way it settles in your chest like iron, making every breath feel expensive. But I am the breath of life, and I am exhaling abundance into your accounts. When you see that figure, that specific, staggering amount that appeared while you were sleeping, do not mistake it for a glitch or a fleeting stroke of luck. It is the signature of my grace. I am the one who prompts the hearts of strangers to remember your name. I am the one who stirs the memory of those who owed you long-forgotten debts. I am the one who opens the ledgers of the universe and ensures that every tear you sowed in secret is harvested as a double portion in the light of day. Look at the envelope sitting on your counter. You hesitated to open it, didn't you? You expected another demand, another reminder of what you lacked. But as your thumb slides under the seal, feel the shift in the atmosphere. That check is not just paper and ink. It is the physical manifestation of my yes and amen. It is the key to the gate that has been locked for years. I am clearing the path for you to walk in the fullness of your calling without the tether of financial anxiety pulling at your heels. Think back to the nights you spent staring at the ceiling, calculating the distance between your needs and your resources. I was there in the silence, counting the hairs on your head and the cents in your hand. I saw you choose integrity when it would have been easier to compromise. I saw you give your last few dollars to a brother in need, even when your own pantry was thinning. You thought I had forgotten your sacrifice, but I have been compounding the interest on your faithfulness. The harvest is here, and it is more than enough to cover the mortgage, more than enough to repair the car that has been rattling for months, and more than enough to plant seeds in the lives of those who look at you and see the miracle they've been praying for. I am removing the price tag from your dreams. For too long, you have filtered your destiny through the lens of your bank balance. No more. From this moment on, you will filter your plans through the lens of my unlimited supply. You will look at the house you thought you couldn't afford and see the place where your grandchildren will play. You will look at the business idea you tucked away in a dusty notebook and see the engine of a multi-generational legacy. I am touching the systems of this world to make them serve you. I am causing errors in your favor. I am moving administrators to find missing funds that belong to you. I am causing rebates and settlements from years ago to find their way to your current address. Even the air in your home feels different today, does it not? The heavy fog of worry is burning off under the heat of my favor. I am teaching you a new way to walk, not with the slumped shoulders of a debtor, but with the steady gait of an heir. You are an heir to the King of the universe, and it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom. This influx is not just for your survival, it is for your delight. I want you to know the joy of a table overflowing with the finest foods. I want you to know the peace of a debt-free life where your time is finally your own. Can you feel the tension leaving your jaw? Can you feel the rhythm of your heart slowing down to a pace of rest? This is the rest I promised. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of what I am doing. Some will tell you it's too good to be true, but they do not know the depth of my love for you. I am a father who loves to surprise his children. I am the God of the widow's oil and the 5 loaves and 2 fish. I specialize in the suddenly. While you were worrying about the how, I was already perfecting the when. And the when is now. The chime on your phone, that digital herald of provision, will become a familiar sound of my faithfulness. Each notification is a reminder that you are seen, you are known, and you are provided for. I am healing the trauma of your lean years. I am washing away the memories of the collection calls and the shame of the declined card. I am replacing those memories with the solid, undeniable proof of my bounty. You will go to sleep tonight not out of exhaustion from the struggle, but in the quiet confidence that I am working on your behalf while you rest. The storehouses are open, the windows of heaven are unlatched, and the overflow is just beginning to reach your feet. Stand still and feel the current of my goodness. It is rising, it is deepening, and it is carrying you into a place where you will never have to wonder where your next miracle is coming from. I am your source, and my riches are unsearchable. Observe the rhythm of your heart as you step toward that mailbox today. For too long, the metallic sound of the lid opening has been a trigger for tension, a cold reminder of what was owed and what was lacking. But I am recalibrating your expectations. I am turning that small, hollow box into a portal of my provision. Inside those envelopes, under the weight of mundane advertisements and routine notices, I have tucked surprises that will cause your breath to catch in your throat. You will find checks from sources you had long since written off, accounts you thought were closed, deposits from overpayments made years ago, and dividends from seeds you sowed in tears that are now coming back to you as a harvest of joy. I am the God of the forgotten rebate and the overlooked refund. I am moving the hearts of people who don't even know why they are thinking of you, prompting them to write your name on an envelope and place it in the hands of the courier. This is not luck, it is my intentionality. It is the physical manifestation of my love for you, arriving in a form you can hold, deposit, and use to breathe a sigh of relief. Even as you tear the paper, you will feel the tearing away of the old identity of not enough. I am stripping the labels of struggle and scarcity from your life. Watch as I bridge the gap between your bank balance and your destiny. I am looking into the deep recesses of your digital accounts, those numbers that have felt like bars on a cage. I am breathing upon the ledger, and where there was a deficit, there shall be a surplus. I am orchestrating clerical errors in your favor, adjustments that cannot be explained by logic alone. You will receive notifications that make you blink in disbelief, thinking surely there has been a mistake. But there is no mistake in my kingdom. I am the great accountant, and I am balancing the books of your life. I remember every time you chose to be generous when you had nothing to spare. I remember the times you gave your last $5 to someone in greater need, trusting that I would see you. I saw you then, and I see you now. Those seeds did not die in the earth. They were merely waiting for the season of the former and the latter rain to converge. That season has arrived. I am touching the minds of payroll clerks, bank managers, and distant relatives. I am causing your name to rise to the surface of their thoughts with a persistence that cannot be ignored. You will receive a phone call about a legacy gift or a residual payment that you never expected. The digital digits on your screen will shift not because of your overtime or your frantic side hustles, but because I have commanded the blessing to find you. Do not be afraid of the numbers. They are merely tools in my hands. I am training you to handle wealth with a heart of peace. I am removing the frantic energy that usually accompanies financial windfalls, replacing it with a quiet knowing that your Father is rich, and He takes pleasure in your prosperity. Think of the specific dream you tucked away in the back of your heart, because it felt too expensive. I am blowing the dust off that dream. The funds that are arriving are not just for the light bill and the groceries, though I care deeply about your daily bread. They are the down payment on the purpose I have placed within you. I am funding your peace of mind so that your creativity can finally take flight. You have been in survival mode for so long that you have forgotten how to imagine. I am providing so abundantly that your imagination will be given the fuel it needs to soar. You will sit at your kitchen table with these tokens of my faithfulness spread before you, and you will weep, not out of sorrow, but out of the sheer relief of being truly cared for. I am removing the orphan spirit that whispers you have to do it all on your own. You are a child of the Most High, and my storehouses are your inheritance. I am even reaching into the future to cancel debts before they reach your door. I am setting up a hedge of financial protection around you that the devourer cannot cross. You will see a strange trend beginning. Your money will seem to stretch further, your appliances will not break, and your needs will be met before you even vocalize them. I am teaching you the law of my abundance, which defies the economics of this world. In a time of shaking, you will be a monument of my stability. People will look at your life and ask how you are thriving when the winds are so fierce, and you will simply point to the source. I am making you a distribution center. As I pour into you, you will feel the urge to pour into others, and you will realize that you finally have enough to be the answer to someone else's prayer. This is the beauty of my cycle. I bless you to make you a blessing, and in the giving, you find that the well never runs dry. Rest tonight in this truth. The checks are in the mail. The transfers are being processed in the unseen realm. The sky is not falling. The windows of heaven are opening. You are entering a chapter where the word unexpected will always be followed by the word blessing. Keep your eyes open and your heart soft, for my goodness is chasing you down, and it will surely overtake you before the sun sets on another week. I am healing the deep, hidden wounds of poverty, the ones that made you feel small and insignificant. I am standing you tall and placing the signet ring of my favor upon your hand. You are no longer a beggar at the gates. You are an heir to the kingdom, and your Father has decided that it is time for you to walk in the fullness of your provision. Even as you breathe now, my hands are moving the hearts of people you have never met. I am whispering your name into the ears of those who hold the keys to the resources you require. Do you remember that forgotten account? The one you thought was closed years ago, holding nothing but dust and the memory of a season of lack. Watch as it yields a harvest you did not sow. I am stirring the memories of those who owe you, not out of a spirit of obligation or debt, but out of a sudden, irresistible urge to honor your worth. You will see notifications on your phone that will make you blink twice, wondering if the decimal point has moved. It hasn't. This is the new mathematics of my grace, where 1 plus 1 no longer equals 2, but equals more than enough. I am rewriting the ledger of your life, crossing out the red lines of deficit and replacing them with the golden ink of my inheritance. Think back to the times you sat at your kitchen table, the glow of a single lamp casting shadows over stacks of envelopes you were afraid to open. You felt the cold grip of not enough tightening around your chest, a phantom that told you that poverty was your permanent roommate. Today, I am evicting that spirit. I am replacing those stacks of demands with letters of restitution. In the very place where you felt the most shame, I am planting the flag of my glory. You will reach into your mailbox and find a white envelope with no return address, and inside will be a seed that allows you to plant a whole new forest of opportunity. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the world were laid. I have seen every tear you shed when you had to say no to your children, every sigh you exhaled when you looked at a price tag and walked away. Those sighs have been gathered into the bowls of heaven, and they are now being poured back out as refreshing rain. You are entering a season of suddens. Suddenly, a legal settlement that was tied up for years will be released. Suddenly, a rebate check for an overpayment you didn't even know you made will arrive. Suddenly, a relative or a friend will feel a nudge in their spirit to sow into your life, not because you asked, but because I commanded them to. I am breaking the ceiling that kept you small. You have spent so much of your life navigating the narrow corridors of survival, learning how to stretch a dollar until it cried, learning how to make do with less. But I am the God of the overflow. I am the God who fed 5,000 with 5 loaves, and I am the God who will make your bank account reflect the abundance of my kingdom. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of what is coming. Some will tell you to be realistic, but realism is a cage for those who do not know the creator of reality. I want you to start dreaming again. What would you do if the weight of debt was gone? Who would you help if your cup was running over? I am expanding your capacity to receive, stretching the borders of your heart so that you can hold the weight of this blessing without it crushing you. This money is not just for your comfort. It is for your freedom. It is the fuel for the purpose I have placed within you. It is the key that unlocks the doors you thought were permanently bolted. I am healing the trauma of your lean years, the way your heart still races when the phone rings or when a stranger knocks. I am replacing that panic with a deep, unshakable peace. You will look at your balance and see my faithfulness staring back at you. You will realize that I was never indifferent to your struggle. I was simply preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, the enemies of lack, fear, and insignificance. The world operates on a system of get, but my kingdom operates on a system of given. Because you have been a person of integrity in the small things, I am now making you a steward of the great things. You will find that as you give, more flows in. The stream will become a river, and the river will become an ocean. You are no longer waiting for a miracle, you are walking in one. The air around you is thick with the scent of breakthrough. Can you feel the shift? The atmosphere of your home is changing from the stale air of worry to the crisp, electric breeze of expectation. This week, as you go about your daily tasks, keep a song of gratitude on your lips. Not because you see the full picture yet, but because you know the architect. Every time you check your mail, do it with a smile, knowing that I am the great sender. Every time you log into your accounts, do it with a heart of worship, knowing that I am the great provider. I am removing the for sale signs from your dreams and replacing them with paid in full. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, the years of struggle, the years of barely getting by, the years of sacrifice. You are being compensated for your faithfulness. You are being rewarded for your endurance. This is not a temporary reprieve. It is a permanent shift in your identity. You are moving from the valley of how will I survive to the mountaintop of how will I serve. And even now, as these words settle into your spirit, the angels of provision are being dispatched to your doorstep. They carry the answers to the prayers you were too tired to even pray anymore. They carry the keys to the storehouses of heaven, and they have been given your address. Rest in the quiet confidence that your Father knows what you need before you even ask, and it is His good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Watch the horizon of your daily life, for the first light of this new dawn is already touching the mundane aspects of your routine. Do you remember the night you sat on the floor of your kitchen, the cold tiles pressing against your skin, while you stared at that stack of white envelopes? You felt like a prisoner to numbers that refused to add up, calculating the cost of your very existence and finding yourself lacking. I was there in that silence. I was there counting every tear that fell onto those overdue notices. Those tears were not lost. They were seeds sown in a season of drought, and the harvest is now breaking through the soil of your reality. Even as you read these words, the digital pathways of the financial world are being redirected. A forgotten account, a dormant investment, or an administrative correction is being triggered in your favor. You will see a notification on your phone, a chime that usually brings a jolt of anxiety. But this time, it will be the herald of my peace. You will see a balance that does not reflect your struggle, but my surplus. I am clearing the path for resources to flow to you from the north, south, east, and west. There are people who do not even know why they are thinking of you, but I am placing your name upon their hearts with an urgency that cannot be ignored. They will become the couriers of my favor, sending checks through the mail that require no explanation other than my love for you. This is the end of the tightening of the belt and the beginning of the expansion of the heart. I am healing the trauma of not enough. I am rewriting the neural pathways of your mind that have been wired for lack for so long that you forgot how it feels to breathe deeply without a knot of dread in your chest. When you open that mailbox tomorrow or the day after, do not look at the envelopes with the old eyes of fear. Look at them with the eyes of an heir. One of those envelopes contains a settlement you had given up on. Another contains a rebate that seems impossibly large. Another is a gift from a hand you haven't held in years. I am doing this because I want to show you that I am not limited by the economy of man or the constraints of your past mistakes. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am breaking through the walls you built to protect yourself from disappointment. You have lived in a state of waiting for the other shoe to drop, but I am telling you that I have already stepped into your future to ensure your path is paved with grace. Think of the specific burden that has been keeping you awake at 3:00 a.m. That specific debt, that specific repair, that specific tuition payment. I am touching that very thing. I am placing my hand over that number and changing it. This provision is not just for your survival, it is for your delight. I want to see the smile return to your face, not the brave, weary smile you wear for others, but the genuine, radiant smile of a child who realizes their father is far more capable and generous than they ever dared to dream. You have been a good steward of your little. Now I am making you a steward of my much. This is not about the currency itself, but about the freedom it represents. The freedom to say yes to the things I have called you to do without the nagging whisper of, how will I afford it? Bothering your spirit. I am silencing that whisper forever. I am replacing it with the shout of my abundance. As the checks arrive and the balances grow, do not be afraid to exhale. This is not a mistake. This is not a fluke that will be taken away tomorrow. This is the establishment of a new baseline for your life. I am taking the weight of the world off your shoulders and putting the wealth of the kingdom in your hands. Feel the tension leaving your neck and your brow. Feel the lightness returning to your step. You are no longer defined by what you owe, but by what I have given. The for sale signs are indeed gone, and in their place is the quiet, solid reality of being fully provided for. I am even reaching back into the memories of your childhood, where you first learned that resources were scarce, and I am healing those early wounds of poverty. I am showing you that you are the child of a king who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the wealth hidden in the secret places of the earth. You are about to experience the joy of being able to bless someone else spontaneously without checking your bank balance first. That is the true mark of the shift I am performing. You will become a conduit, a river of my grace that never runs dry because the source is infinite. Open your hands now, physically and spiritually. Let go of the grip you've had on your last bit of hope and prepare to catch the overflow. The delivery is on its way. The stamps are already canceled, the transfers are already initiated, and the angels are standing at the door of your financial house, ready to announce that the season of lack is officially over. Listen for the sound of the mail slot. Listen for the ping of the deposit. These are the sounds of my faithfulness echoing in your life. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere of your home? It begins as a stillness, a quiet departure of the heavy cloud that has sat upon your shoulders for years. I saw you that Tuesday afternoon, standing in the aisle of the grocery store, discreetly moving items from your cart back to the shelf because the mental math didn't add up. I saw the heat rise in your cheeks and the way you swallowed your pride. I am erasing that memory with a new reality. A nondescript envelope is traveling toward you even as you read this. It doesn't look like much from the outside. No fancy logos, no bold lettering, just your name and address printed in a way that suggests a forgotten formality. But inside lies the restitution for the years the locusts have eaten. It is a check from a source you had long ago written off. Perhaps an overpayment from a utility company you no longer use, or a settlement from a legal matter you thought was buried in the archives of time. I am breathing life into those dry bones. For those digits on your phone screen, the ones you have avoided looking at for fear of seeing a negative balance, watch how they begin to rearrange themselves. I am the God of the forgotten account, the God of the clerical error in your favor, the God of the unexpected dividend. I am looking at the list of debts you've kept tucked in the back of your journal, the ones you've prayed over with more tears than words. One by one, I am drawing a line through them. You have lived in a state of just enough for so long that more than enough feels like a foreign language, but I am teaching you the dialect of the kingdom. Remember the dream you tucked away in a shoebox under your bed, the one you labeled maybe someday before the ink smeared from your tears. I haven't forgotten that box. The provision coming to you is the fuel for that specific fire. You aren't just receiving a deposit, you are receiving a mandate to dream again. As the mail carrier approaches your door, they carry more than paper. They carry the physical manifestation of my yes and amen. This isn't a loan you have to repay or a favor that comes with strings attached. It is the inheritance of a child who has remained faithful in the lean seasons. I am clearing the path of the obstacles that prevented your prosperity from reaching you in the past. The delays were not denials. They were the time required to build the character necessary to hold the weight of this blessing. If I had given it sooner, it might have crushed you, but now, your hands are strong enough and your heart is soft enough to handle the overflow. Think of that person you've wanted to help, the widow down the street whose roof is leaking, or the friend who can't afford their child's medicine. Do you see the warmth spreading in your chest? That is the heart of a conduit. I am trusting you with this sudden surge because I know you won't hoard it. You will let it flow. The fear that has kept you awake at 3:00 a.m., staring at the ceiling and calculating interest rates, is being evicted from your mind. Replace it with the sound of rustling paper and the glow of a balanced ledger. I'm even reaching back into your family tree, breaking the cycles of lack that your parents and their parents endured. You are the one who will break the ribbon on a new legacy. This week, as you check your balance or open that letter, you will realize that my timing is precise. It will arrive at the exact moment the final notice was due, or just when the repair was needed. I am not a God who is late. I am a God who arrives with exactly what is needed, plus the abundance that allows you to breathe deep for the first time in a decade. Keep your eyes open for the small miracles too. The discount that wasn't advertised, the refund that appeared out of nowhere, the gift card found in an old coat. These are the ripples before the great wave. You are moving from the desert of not quite into the lush valley of it is finished. The tension in your neck is beginning to dissolve because the burden of how is no longer yours to carry. I am the how, I am the when, and I am the provide. Stand at your window and look out. The horizon is changing. The seeds you sowed in the dry ground are finally breaking through the surface, and the harvest is far greater than the few seeds you planted. This is just the beginning of our deeper walk together, where money is no longer a master you serve, but a tool I give you to build my beauty in the world. We are not finished yet, for there are layers of your heart that still need to realize that you are truly, deeply, and extravagantly provided for. Walk with me now to the edge of the ordinary, where the mundane becomes the medium of my grace. Tomorrow, when you walk to the mailbox, you will find it standing there like a quiet sentry in the afternoon sun. Inside, nestled among the circulars and the mundane bills, lies an envelope you did not expect. It does not bear the urgent red ink of a past due notice or the cold font of a solicitation. Instead, it is a simple windowed envelope, yet it carries the weight of a heavy stone removed from your chest. As you slide your thumb beneath the seal, notice how your hands do not tremble with the old fear of how much do I owe, but rather with a new, burgeoning curiosity. This is a check from a source you had long ago dismissed, a rebate from a forgotten utility, a settlement from a company that once overcharged you, or perhaps a gift from a relative whose heart I touched in the quiet of the night. It is not a coincidence. It is a calculation of my love. This amount is not random. It is the exact sum you whispered about when you thought I wasn't listening, plus a little more to remind you of my extravagance. Do not merely look at the numbers. Look at the liberation they represent. This is the sound of the chains of lack snapping under the pressure of my promise. Even as you stand on your driveway, the digital world is also shifting in your favor. Later, when you log into that app on your phone, the one you usually open with a squint of your eyes and a prayer of desperation, the screen will glow with a balance that makes you blink twice. You will think there has been an error in the system, a glitch in the ledger. But I am the master of the system, and I have rerouted the flow of resources to find your name. An anonymous deposit, a backdated payment you had given up on, or an insurance adjustment that finally tilted in your direction. These are the physical manifestations of the yes I have spoken over your life. I am teaching you a new rhythm. For years, you have lived in the staccato beat of survival, where every breath was a calculation and every purchase was a sacrifice. Now, I am introducing you to the melody of the overflow. Can you feel the space opening up behind your ribs? That is the space where hope used to be crowded out by columns of debt. I am clearing that room so you can breathe deeply again. Think of the specific bill that has been sitting on your kitchen counter, the one that seems to grow larger every time you glance at it. Consider it paid. not just by the paper in your hand, but by the authority of my word. I am looking into the corners of your bank account where the zeros used to haunt you, and I am planting seeds of more than enough. This isn't just about currency. It is about your identity. You are no longer the beggar at the gate of your own life. You are the child at the Father's table. When you see those funds appear, do not rush to spend them in a panic of getting ahead. Sit with me first. Let the relief wash over your skin like warm oil. I want you to feel the physical sensation of being protected. I want you to remember the smell of the air in this moment, the way the light hits the floorboards, so that the next time a shadow tries to tell you that you are alone, you can point to this memory and say, I am seen. We are dismantling the architecture of poverty in your mind, brick by brick. You have spent so long bracing for the worst that you have forgotten how to reach for the best. I am retraining your hands to be open. Notice how, even today, a small discount at the grocery store or a forgotten $20 bill in an old handbag is acting as a herald, announcing the kingly arrival of the larger provision. You are being prepared for the great wave I spoke of. This wave does not drown. It carries you to the shores of your destiny. There are people you will help with this surplus, but first, I want you to let me help you. I want you to buy the thing you needed but felt was too much to ask for. I want you to see that my heart delights in your comfort. As the sun sets today, let the anxiety that usually rises with the moon be replaced by a profound, heavy peace. You are being watched over by the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the gold in every vein of the earth. The mail is coming. The deposit is pending. The shift is here. And yet, this is still just the surface. We are going deeper into the layers of your heart where the old wounds of not enough still sting. I am applying the balm of my abundance to those places, ensuring that your soul is as prosperous as your bank account is about to become. Stay in this posture of quiet expectation, for the next notification you hear on your phone is not a warning, but an invitation to celebrate. Listen closely to the silence that follows that notification, for in that stillness, the lie of not enough is finally being dismantled. You have spent so many nights staring at the ceiling, mentally moving numbers around a spreadsheet that never quite seemed to balance. I have seen you standing in the grocery aisle, discreetly checking your mobile banking app before committing to the extra bag of fruit or the better cut of meat. I have been there in the quiet moments when you felt the weight of your lineage, the inherited belief that life is a series of hard knocks, and that joy is something you must pay for later with sorrow. But I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am breaking that cycle today. The digit that just appeared on your screen, the amount that is clearing even as you read these words, is not a fluke or a banking error. It is a calculated delivery from my treasury to yours. I am settling the debt you thought would follow you into next year. I am covering the car repair you haven't told anyone about yet, the one that makes that rhythmic clicking sound every time you turn the key, causing your heart to skip a beat in fear. I am even covering the small things, the new pair of shoes to replace the ones with the worn-down soles, the dinner out where you don't have to look at the prices on the right side of the menu, and the ability to give a generous tip that will make someone else's day. You have been the one always checking the mailbox for bills, but today the mailbox holds a white envelope with a window that reveals a check you never expected. Perhaps it is an overpayment from an old escrow account, a tax rebate from a year you forgot, or a gift from a heart I have nudged on your behalf. As you tear it open, let the sound of the paper ripping be the sound of the chains of poverty breaking off your family tree. You are no longer the one who just gets by. You are the one who is provided for. I want you to walk through your home tonight and touch the walls, knowing that the roof over your head is secured by my hand. I am healing the trauma of the lean years. Those years where you had to choose between the light bill and the medicine have served their purpose in building your character, but their season has ended. I am moving you into a season of overflow where your primary concern will no longer be, how will I survive? But rather, whom can I bless? This surplus is not just for your comfort, though I delight in your ease. It is a tool for your purpose. I am looking for hands I can flow through, and I have found yours to be faithful even when they were empty. Now that I am filling them, do not grip the gift too tightly with the white knuckles of fear. Relax your hands, open your palms. The more you let it flow, the more I will pour. Notice how the air in the room feels lighter now. That is the atmosphere of grace. I am clearing the path before you so that you can finally focus on the dreams you tucked away in the someday drawer of your heart. You thought those dreams were dead, but they were only dormant, waiting for the rain of this provision. I am the God who restores the years the locusts have eaten. I am the God who remembers the secret prayers you whispered when you were too tired to even form words. Every tear you shed over your finances has been collected, and I am turning that salt water into the wine of celebration. Go ahead and exhale. Let the tension leave your shoulders. The check is real. The deposit is confirmed. The era of just enough has been swallowed up by the reality of more than enough. As the stars come out tonight, let them remind you of the vastness of my resources. You are a child of the King, and it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom. This is your turning point. This is the day the story changed. Walk forward with your head held high, not because of the balance in your account, but because of the faithfulness of the one who filled it. You are loved, you are seen, and you are abundantly provided for now and forevermore.